The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Huddle Up, your number one source for information here on all of Missouri, all of high school, college, professional, all the sports action. You're going to get it here tonight at Huddle Up with my crew. We're riding a three-man front seat here. We're going to put Guy in the middle. I'm gonna be driving. DA, you got the passenger side, knowing the shotgun. Riddle, diddle, diddle. We got the big fella in the middle. Mr. Newcomb himself is riding in the middle. Mr. Archer's riding shotgun, making sure nobody comes up on the passenger side. He's locked and loaded. We're all ready to go. Thank you for joining us. Gentlemen, let's jump right into it. Let's start off with the NFL. Why not? Why not? Why not, guys? Our favorite team to the West, Kansas City Chiefs, had a kind of a scare, I guess you could call it, after being up 27-0, if you can call it a scare. Almost lost that lead. Mahomes played well. He's 28 for 42. I thought he played okay. He had 352 yards, but he had 3 picks. What do we think about the Chiefs almost losing that lead to the Broncos? And what do we think, what seeding they're going to get, and how do we see them in and out the year, guys? Fellas, talk to me.
Well, first off, man, you look happy. You happy today, man? You finally get that Coke machine to take that Canadian quarter?
Finally, my brother, finally.
No, I tell you what, the Chiefs got up 27-0. I thought, oh, this is a blowout. Then Mahomes, that interception there really turned the game. If he didn't throw that pick there, it probably is a blowout. And you look at Denver. Denver is not good, but they've only given up 9 touchdowns. Going into that game, 9 touchdowns in the red zone. They only gave up 9 touchdown passes, and this is that's through 11, 12 games. So their defense really wasn't that bad. They can't get anything going on offense. And my concern really was what went on the sideline, where you see the defensive guys start, griping at one another. You saw one of the defensive coaches break a tablet. That I think is where the concern lies. But they've got to get it right, because the Houston Texans could beat them. But they right now they're the 2 seed, and they're on borderline 3 seed, because right behind them Cincinnati, who has the tiebreaker over them. They may have to win out and hope that Cincinnati or Miami gets Buffalo, but they're going to be one of the top 3 seeds. And then the 5 seed could be the Ravens. It's going to be a good 5 seed, but you don't want to be in that 2-3 game, I don't think, to get to the AFC Championship. That's just the Chiefs. They need a week off. So I think if they're going to get to the Super Bowl, they're going to have to be the 1 seed, and that's a stretch, I think, to get there.
I agree. DA, what are your thoughts on these Chiefs?
Yeah, just echoing a lot of what Guy said. First off, you got to give credit to Denver's defense. They're a lot better than what their offense is, and I think that it surprised me, honestly, that the Chiefs jumped out the way that they did, and I think they hit the cruise control button when they jumped out on both sides of the ball. They've got the NFL season, along with any professional sports, is a grind. And, I think they got caught up in the grind a little bit. They jumped out to a quick lead, put their foot on clutch, and kind of coasted. And it just about got them. So hopefully it's a wake-up call for them. A lot of the frustration that you're seeing is just, hey, being in practice and film study and team meetings and hotel rooms, for what, 12 straight weeks now. That's going to happen. You're seeing it in other places too, or in other teams. You don't want to see it, but you're going to see it. I just think that, the biggest thing they've got to focus on is take care of business. They should win out. No reason why they shouldn't. They need to be prepared to play every week, though, because they're going to get tested, and stay healthy. I think the big key is stay healthy right now.
Stay healthy is huge. I think the Chiefs, I think they got a couple things going from them. I love the way Isaiah Pacheco runs the ball. He's a hard runner. He's not a big guy in stature, I think they got some things going, but I do believe Seattle's very formidable, very, very formidable. I think they got Denver again at home, and they got Houston this week, and I think they end with not Oakland, but Las Vegas. And the Raiders are always going to be a challenge. They're going to be up for that game. So if they slip up somewhere, it could be a tough road heading into the playoffs. But I do like Pacheco. And then McKinnon was their leading receiver, which was kind of different kind of receiver, leading them with 7 receptions for 112 yards and 2 TDs. So they're doing it by committee. I'm happy for them. I think they'll be okay. They got the victory. I remember Mr. Warren, who played at Kickapoo, and then he played at Nebraska. And he said whenever you played in Denver, when they used to play Colorado, Nebraska would run out of steam in the third and fourth quarters because of elevation.
Right.
I've always taken that into account. Plus, I had the Chiefs, and I gave away the 8.5 points. So hell, I was really mad, fellas. I was happy for a while, but fellas, but I got real sad toward the end.
They went that Christmas bonus.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I missed out on that one, guys. But you know, staying with inside the football realm here, we had a passing of Mike Leach, innovator of the offensive, spreading it out. Guy, what were your thoughts on what he brought to the game and his impact on college football?
Well, first off, I think Mike Leach is brilliant. I know if you haven't seen some of the interviews that he's done, go and Google the mask comment and watch that interview on YouTube when the reporter asked him about, hey, Coach Leach, we noticed you weren't, this was last year, we noticed you weren't wearing the mask on the sideline, and just see that response. He's brilliant to talk about gummy bears and his favorite Halloween candy and things of that nature. But he was so innovative, not only at the college level, what he did, but a lot of what you see in the NFL now is based on that Mike Leach offense. As you look at, Cliff Kingsbury was his starting quarterback, at Texas Tech. He's taken some of that. He's got his coaching tree is pretty extensive. But one thing I learned today that I was not aware of is he was a jurist. He had his degree, his law degree, and was a practicing attorney, and that was something that I was not aware of. And so he is brilliant, but he just a terrible, horrible situation there. And you put on top of that, his family talked about that he was going to retire at the end of this year and travel with his family. And he had one game left, and it was the bowl game, and he could have retired. So they've named an interim head coach there, but thoughts and prayers definitely to his family, and he will be missed. We need a lot more Mike Leaches, in the world, as opposed to Bill Belichick's, the way that they handle things.
Yeah, the air raid offense is what they called it, and he was an innovator. And just like what Guy said, you take a look at his coaching tree. It's amazing the impact that he's had on college and professional football. But like Guy said, I think what he will mostly be remembered for just the great interviews that he gave. When he was at Washington State, he had a class that was I think it was a sports psychology class, and some of the lessons that he taught in that class were incredible. You could get snippets of him and everything. He was a brilliant man, and had this dry sense of humor to where he rarely cracked a smile, but everybody else around him is busting a gut. And I agree with Guy. He will be sorely missed. From not just from the football world, but from the sports world and the world in general.
I agree. RIP, rest in peace to Mike Leach. With that being said, we'll close out this segment. You're listening to Huddle Up inside the Pizza Ranch studio. We'll be right back with more of what you need to know.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
It means the world to me to have a job where I can help farmers. That's what I want to do, is be here for them.
Alan became a counselor in a rough time. He just has a feeling for what we as farmers are going through.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team, not only us, but Country Financial. And I've learned that there's people that also are going to watch out for us and that care.
Everyone thinks their mom makes the crispiest, juiciest, best chicken ever.
No way. The country's best chicken comes from Pizza Ranch.
Hot and ready on the buffet, it's always available, along with your favorite comfort foods, like mashed potatoes and gravy.
Which are never lumpy, like my mom's potatoes.
Sorry, Mom. The country's best chicken, along with mashed potatoes and gravy, are always found on the buffet at Pizza Ranch.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 290,000 participants here in Missouri who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Huddle Up here inside the Pizza Ranch studio. And as they said on one of my favorite movies, Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. All right, we're going to keep it moving. We're going to talk about college football here. 41 bowl games, I believe it is. And some of them are very interesting. We're going to get into a couple of them. It's definitely the top four and how that seeds out on December 31st, how that works out. But I also want to talk about Mizzou. And I heard an interesting story. Maybe it was a rumor, but I heard a source. DA, I heard that Mizzou didn't want to play the KU Jayhawks up in the Liberty Bowl. Any reason why, DA? What did you hear, buddy?
Yeah, first of all, not a rumor. Second of all, there's probably going to be a lot of dissenting views on this. We talked about this last week. I think this came from higher up. I think it was a shot across the bow to KU. Back when after Missouri left for the SEC, they refused to schedule home and away in basketball. I think it was just payback. And, I think there was a recruiting element as part of it as well. You take a chance playing KU for the Kansas City market, fans, but more importantly, the recruiting aspect. And, you don't want to lose kids you may be in on to KU because you lost to KU in a bowl game. I don't necessarily disagree with the move, especially given the history behind KU and Mizzou, particularly when they left. Mizzou left for the SEC. So I know Guy has a differing view. We'll have to agree to disagree, but that's all right.
What you got, baby?
No, I think it's a chicken blank move. I don't know why they don't play that game. I mean, Mizzou, we're in the SEC. Well, you're not in the SEC. You're gonna be picked to finish above maybe Vanderbilt every year. That's it.
Maybe.
And Kansas, they replace that game. They go out and play Arkansas. Well, that's similar recruiting areas as well. So they pick up Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl. Mizzou Drinkowitz wanted to say, well, we wanted the game before Christmas on the 23rd, which is when the Gasparillo Bowl is, and the Liberty Bowl's on the 28th. I don't believe that for a second. I think it's Mizzou, and I got family members that got names on buildings at Mizzou, but I am not a Mizzou fan of late. I disagree with that move altogether.
Well, the word for the day is chicken blank, and here goes Guy. Here goes Guy again talking about his family members with names on buildings. Okay, Mr. Newcomb. Okay. Yeah, I got family member with names on building in Mizzou also. Okay, they just spray painted on there. All right. So there's some other good. I mean, let's talk about the playoffs. Let's just get into that. I would coming right off with Georgia having to play Ohio State and Michigan having to play TCU. I still don't understand how TCU got in. They shouldn't have lost that game. They did, but then they still snuck in. So whatever you got to say about that, it is what it is. But I'm just gonna make my predictions right now. I think Georgia has too much speed, too much defense. I don't think they wanted to play Ohio State, but I'll take Georgia in that one by a touchdown. And I think Michigan is too big, too strong, and the quarterback's been playing a lot better last couple games. I'll take Michigan over TCU. Fellas, what you got?
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I don't think you can. I mean, Georgia, I think is so much better than everybody else. But Michigan, you know, what he's done over there, and TCU, I don't think has a chance in Hades in that game with Michigan. And I think TCU staying in it is just that's just a situation where Alabama was the 5 seed, and if they couldn't bring Alabama because it'd be 2 SEC schools and 2 Big Ten schools. USC really dropped the ball. I think they're the ones that lost to Utah, or they're going to be in that bowl with their Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams, and they would probably have a better showing. But I still don't think they'd beat Michigan. So I'm going Georgia and Michigan in the championship, and I think that's going to be a tremendous game.
I agree. All right. What about you, DA?
Yeah, no different than what you guys have picked. What about the championship game? If it gets to that, Georgia, Michigan, who you guys got?
I'm an SEC guy. I'm just going to go with the speed athleticism. I have just always believed that the SEC, the kids, the recruiting they get from down south is more superior than the Midwest and up north. I just see the SEC controlling the game with their speed. I mean, they outflanking them. Michigan will be tough if they play Michigan. If they play TCU, I think it'll be a 20-point blowout. But I do like Georgia to win the whole thing again.
And I don't think you can discount what Harbaugh's done. I mean, an outstanding coach. He's done it at Stanford, done it at Michigan, done it in the NFL. Now he's in however many years there at Michigan, and he may be the reason Ohio State may be looking for a new coach here not for too long, because they've had their troubles, and that's the one game a year you got to win. And Ohio State's lost 2 of them in a row when they were favored in both of them.
Big dog, let me say this. First of all, you're in the middle for a reason. So understand that you're sitting in the middle for a reason. So understand. Let me give you a little bit. Georgia beat them 34-11 last year. It wasn't a game. It wasn't close. The speed, the athleticism, the athletes, it was a dominant. Now, Georgia had a lot, I think 6, 7 guys go first round or second round, but they're just too big, too strong, too fast. Michigan should be very happy they play in the Big Ten. They could not compete with that roster in the SEC. They would get washed over. I would love to see Michigan try to play Tennessee. And Tennessee defense was not good this year. I would love to see them go to Alabama. I love to see them go to Georgia, Florida. I just don't think they can handle it. They just don't have the athleticism. Big fella. You're too close. Scoot over.
Don't send him my way. Come on now. Hey, I've got one more question for you guys. Okay, before we end this segment. Is Georgia the new Alabama in college football?
I don't think the transfer portal will let anybody be as dominant as Alabama was, because kids that aren't playing that are second team and so the depth will be gone across the board. Kids are just going to be jumping out of there and going, you know what? I only played in 6 games and I didn't start any, and I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to develop. I want to go play somewhere and start. I don't know if anybody will go on that run, but that's a good question, DA. I would say that it's yet to be seen what this transfer portal is going to do to teams like Alabama and the heavy hitters.
Yeah, I don't know that Georgia's the new Alabama could be. I look maybe even out to the West Coast. I mean, maybe that's a USC that would have a better chance maybe of taking that, just because they've got so much money and it's California coast, and it's that's something I would look at. And they play in a horrible conference, so they're going to be in it all the time. Now there's USC and UCLA coming into the Big Ten. What's that going to do? That's going to create an issue there as well. But getting playing the Big Ten and then having that money and that scenery that you're going to see every day at USC, hey, who knows? Maybe it's USC.
Yeah, good question. Good answer. Good answer. You're still in the middle. All right, everyone. That's our second segment. We appreciate you listening to Huddle Up here in the Pizza Ranch studio. We'll be right back with more, and we'll finish it off. Stay tuned.
We believe banking should make your life greater. It starts with affordable options to meet today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. From smart account options that fit your style to flexible loans for what comes next. It means convenient ways to access and manage your money whenever you need it and wherever you're headed. Most of all, it takes great support. Someone you can count on for trusted guidance and to be there for you every step of the way. Great options, great convenience, great support for life. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters.
Enjoy a fresh start to your meal at Pizza Ranch, where the salad bar is always included with your buffet. Every day you'll find garden fresh greens, colorful veggies, and sides for every appetite. It's the most refreshing way to balance out a meal while leaving plenty of room for your other buffet favorites. Convenient, fast, and fresh. It's the Pizza Ranch Salad Bar. Mmm.
I couldn't ask for a better agent, for a better company in a time like this, in a disaster where you have no idea where to start.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team. There's people that are going to watch out for us and that care.
It's been pretty stressful. Once we saw Lori and got our plan, it's a lot better now.
It was like a huge weight lifted.
Welcome back, everyone, to Huddle Up inside the Pizza Ranch studio. We're going to do our third and final segment of the night. I'm here with the one and only Guy Newcomb, Mr. Archer. I'm going to call him Darren COVID-19 Archer. And so he's here. He's working on one lung. I tell you what, if you want COVID, if you need COVID, if you just got to have it in your life, just go stand by Darren Archer. He's a walking COVID machine sometimes. The man is breaking records. He's had COVID now a record 9 times. He's on the COVID strand 26. My man, Darren Archer. But look, everyone, DA, no, I hope you feel well. Get better, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
I think your wife is purposely injecting you with COVID-19 so she doesn't have to deal with you at all and you can stay locked up in the room. But the word for the day is chicken blank. That comes from the
chicken blank.
Chicken blank is the word for the day. Gentlemen, this last segment, we're going to get into a little local high school sports here. This winter time, and you got basketball going on, a lot of things, a lot of holiday tournaments. And I know the Webb City coach, he retired. We want to talk about that. And but Guy, DA, I know you guys are very interested in some of the tournaments. Tell me about some of the tournaments that's caught your attention, Mr. Newcomb.
Well, I tell you, first and foremost here in Southwest Missouri, it's always been, for 76 years now, it's been about the blue and gold tournament that Greenwood puts on. It's a 32-team tournament. And then the pink and white started, I want to say about 35 years ago, was started by Dr. Jester over at Greenwood. And now Springfield Public Schools kind of taking that over as well a little bit. They direct that tournament while Greenwood runs the blue and gold, 32 teams in that tournament on the women's side as well. And then you go to Walnut Grove, and Rory Henry puts on a tremendous 32-team tournament, 16 girls teams, 16 boys teams. I was joking with Rory today at the tip-off club. He was there, and I just said, hey, this is probably the first time in 10 years you have not been the 1 seed in your tournament. And he said, yeah, it probably is. Sparta got the 1 seed there in the Walnut Grove Classic, Holiday Classic, and Hollister got the 1 seed on the boys' side. Unique experience here is that none of the games will be played at Walnut Grove this year, as they've got a new FEMA gym that's being built and it's not done yet. So all the boys' games, the boys' sides of the bracket will all be played at Morrisville, and then all the girls' sides of the bracket will be played at Ash Grove. So Rory will have a challenge going back and forth, but he's got 2 really good people at both locations that know how to run tournaments and do a stand-up job. And then you've got the William Jewell tournament up in Kansas City area, and that's been tremendous tournament as well. Kabul puts on a tournament. Rolla and the O Show. Coaches versus Cancer in St. Louis is going on as well. So a lot of great tournaments going on, across the state on the boys and girls side. And there'll be a lot of teams maybe kind of stepping up where that, maybe you thought, okay, this team could be good, but if they come out and they win a tournament or have a good showing, that's like, hey, you may have to watch out for them, down the stretch, because everybody's college or conference games will get started, right after that tournament. You come back in January, and now you're deep into your conference, and so I'm looking forward to seeing who some of the standout teams are, at the end of the year, basically. Come that January 1, all those tournaments will be over.
Sure. DA, you got any pick on your favorite holiday tournaments and what you like to see, buddy?
Oh gosh, I like all of them. I've been a part of several of them. In each region of the state, at each level, they're very important tournaments. It's a community event. A lot of times, and it's great to be a part of it because you see people once a year, a lot of times, and it's usually at those basketball tournaments. And been fortunate enough to, like I said, participate as a coach in several of them throughout the years. And it's just a really neat time if you're a basketball fan, boys or girls, to see, number one, see some good basketball, and it's just a great community event for a lot of the communities throughout the state.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
It's all about the hospitality rooms.
That is true. Yeah. When you're in our position now it's about ranking those hospitality rooms and who's got the best food.
We might need to come back and do a segment on that after the tournament's over with. Who has the best hospitality room? Other thing I want to talk to you gentlemen about is the retiring of John how do you say his last name? Roderick. That's right. At Webb City. All I know is that Webb City has been a staple in the championship game for many years. Guy, you had some interesting stats on his numbers throughout his career. Why don't you share with our audience what you had?
Well, he, first off, just a tremendous guy. You walk down the road and meet him, you wouldn't even know it's the winningest coach, in the country as far as winning percentage. He's very humble, super guy. I played against him in high school, but not in football. He was a senior when I was a freshman, and met him in the state tennis tournament. He was a tennis player, went on to a very successful playing career at Pitt State. And my senior year, I took a visit at Pitt State, and he was the guy who showed me around. Very humble, super good guy. He comes out. He was a grad assistant at Pitt State. He and his wife had their 3rd child, and he thought, I better get a real job, and went to Webb City in 1993. His first year there, he lost 5 games there. Then he won the state title the following year. This year he lost 4, so that's 9 games there. In his 29-year career, he only lost 35 games. So 26 games over that middle 27-year span, and had 4 or 5 consecutive seasons where he went 15-0. 13 state titles there as the head coach, and had both of his sons played quarterback for him, John Roderick Jr. and Tyson Roderick. But just a tremendous I don't know how you replace him. It's and they're probably going to do that from within. I talked to John, just asked him what, if he was going to have any input. And he said, well, I'm sure they're going to come and ask me, about the head coach. Well, bull. They're asking him to pick him, and he's not going to do that.
Yeah.
And but well deserved, and he's a guy that, he didn't get to take in many college games, on Saturday because he was preparing for that next week, and didn't get to go to, he was telling me, I didn't get to go. I wouldn't get to drive down to Dallas and go to a Cowboy game because I couldn't think, because I'd be thinking about that next game. And and he's had a tremendous staff there as well. But just some of the things that they have done, and he's going to be missed. I was in his classroom one day just doing an interview, and he is the only COC athletic administrator that teaches a class, and he requires that. He wants to teach a class. And when I was in his classroom, he put his hand on every kid in that room and talked to them. And that's just the John Roderick I know, and he will be sorely missed. But already a Missouri State Hall of Famer, probably needs to be in the National Federation of High School Hall of Fame for what he's done, and he probably will get there. But John, just a tremendous guy, tremendous competitor, but class act all the way.
Good deal. Good deal. DA, you want to follow up on that, my friend?
Not much I can add. He's just legendary.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'd say, DA. That's the same thing I'd say. Well, we want to end tonight's segment with a brief update on a close friend of the Missouri Sports Network. And Guy, can you give us just a brief update on how Mr. Art Haynes is doing in his recovery?
It's slow, but there are some encouraging things that have come out in the last week. It's just been slow, especially for how, I mean, this happened so quick. He got to the bottom of that hill so quick. I mean, it was a Monday morning, and he texted me, said, I don't think I'm going to be at the quarterback club today. I've got a doctor's appointment. Monday afternoon, I called him. How are you? And he said, I'm fine. I think I've got kidney stones. I'm at home. Tuesday morning, I texted him, how are you? And he said, not good. I cannot feel my legs. And by Wednesday, he was paralyzed all the way to the top of his head. He couldn't open his eyes or talk. So for it to happen that quickly, and now we are 3 months since that day, and it's been just so slow, but some encouraging things. He's been off the ventilator now during the day. He can sit in a chair. He can talk. He's going to be moved just for insurance reasons. His Medicare runs out after 90 days. And so they're going to have to move him, and they're going to move him. And as far as what I've been told, Chris, his son, has been texting and kind of letting us know how he's doing. But from the last text, he's going to be able to stay there in Lincoln and go to a facility that will take someone who's on a ventilator. And that's the biggest thing right now is him, the paralysis getting out of his diaphragm so that he can breathe on his own at night without the ventilator. Sure. And that, for those that are watching, if that's something specific you can pray for, that can happen. But he is able to talk. He's able to do very limited movements, and they can set him in a chair. I mean, obviously he can't get to the chair, but they can put him in it. But
sure.
So it's very slow, but there have been some encouraging things happen.
Sure. Thanks for that update. We'll continue to keep Art in our prayers. DA, I'll give you the last words, my friend. Anything?
Nope. Just hope everybody stays safe. Holidays are coming up. Enjoy.
Holidays are coming up. We'll see if you've been naughty or nice. But for most of us here on Missouri Sports Network, we've been chicken blanked all right. All right, everyone. We're going to end it tonight here on Huddle Up in the Pizza Ranch studio. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Be safe.